Hello everyone, welcome to this quick tech tip. Today's tech tip topic is Kaizena. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but that's how we're going to say it today, is Kaizena. And this is a feedback tool for editing Google Docs. I'll be honest, I found this tool after I was in the classroom, so I'll be honest, I haven't used this with students, and I would love to hear your stories of how it works. But the demos on it look pretty awesome, so I just want to show you how to get this tool and how to get started using it with your kiddos. Alright, so here I am in Google Docs. This is an actual paper submitted to me by a student, but several years ago, as you can see. But I want to show you where you can get your add-ons in general. Really quickly, if you're not familiar, right up here at the top, if you're in any document that you've opened in your drive, you can go up to add-ons and simply get add-ons. This will allow you to search for a variety of add-ons. You can also just scroll through. Honestly, that's how I have found some of the add-ons that I use, including the EasyBib add-on for Google Docs. I've always had students use EasyBib. I did not know there was an add-on until I just happened to see it here one day. But here's this Kaizena, this one that we're going to test out today. And what I usually do when I'm giving students feedback in their paper, I will either just switch to suggesting mode so that as I'm typing, I can just cross something off and give them feedback, or I just work by adding comments. This process isn't that much different, but when I go to my add-ons and I open up the Kaizena sidebar, it's going to give me a few different options. And for me, I think these are particularly helpful. I have created one little summary here where I was giving this student some general feedback about the introduction. What I discovered, however, because I have the free version, I'm limited to 30 seconds. So this is good for me and for the students. I have to speed myself up. But now, instead of me writing comments, I can just record a quick comment. And if you are anything like me, I can speak much quicker than I can type, and I can be much more specific with students. More importantly, a recording would capture the tone that I am using in a way that no comment possibly can capture. I can't tell you the number of times where students will read something, and because writing is such a sensitive process for a lot of people, even the most gentle comment or feedback can be read in a very hurtful way. So I really like this idea that I can capture my tone and I can capture that excitement of me saying, this is so much better than the last thing that you wrote. I would still like you to work on X, but man, have you really improved on Y. Well done. I think that tone coming through in a short little recording would be really powerful for students. In addition, I think it really would save me a lot of time instead of typing up all of these comments and worrying about how I'm phrasing it so that my tone is clear. I can just tell students what I mean. You can also delete those comments, so I've done that for that. So this is the button. You simply highlight in the text where you want to add that comment. You can see the text is highlighted here. You can change what color you want it. So you could certainly develop a system for feedback. Red, yellow, green, something like you're good to go, you're developing, this needs improvement for, red, yellow, green. You could do something like that. And blue could be, you blew me out of the water. Very, very lame and cheesy, but that's just off the top of my head, that you could do a little color code, which would give you and students a really quick visual of where they were at for their writing in a paper. So you can see here, though, I can add a voice message. I can also attach a little lesson. You can pre-make these lessons. So let me just show you this. You can search for some lessons. So you can see here, there are a lot of pre-made lessons that would become very helpful for students. So think of all the comments that you give students over and over and over again. A lot of those you're going to find right here. So I could select this misuse of there, there, and there. There's a nice little video here that takes them to YouTube, and it connects to this skill. And now I don't need to review or explain this. I've just attached this lesson, and then I can post that to their paper, and they have this little reminder. As I continue scrolling through the paper, as I'm reading, I can also still add a text message to things if you wanted to keep it all in the Kaizena. You can also take the time to build in a rubric, and you can create that rubric where you can add different skills. You can search for your skills. You can also just build in your own little rubric. So you can do some more things with the rubric. I personally, I don't know if I would use the rubric feature or not. When I am reading something online, I personally still like to grade on a paper rubric, and then I give the paper rubric back to students, and they have to look at those comments and look at their paper. But that is simply because I like looking at a rubric beside the piece of writing. So while I've basically shifted to reading papers online and really enjoy that, and I think the voice feedback of this tool would really help me, I still personally like a hard copy of a rubric. Now you can click on this. You can see these little bars up here. That gives you some of your different options. So you can go in to your lessons. You can search for lessons, but you can make it so you have your own lesson in here as well. So if there's a specific skill that you've been working on in writing, you could have that lesson here, and then, or if what frequently happens for me, right, I write a comment once or twice, and by about the third or fifth student, I go, okay, this is a systemic problem, so we need to create a better resource for this. And at that level, I might do a two-pronged system. I'm going to create a lesson so that I can attach that to feedback, but I'm also going to create a mini lesson that we actually do in class. Because if that many students are having that error, we actually need to talk about it more than just me attaching this as part of their feedback. So that's a quick summary of this pretty simple tool. You would save these, and then as a student, they can read and listen to your comments. Students also have access to those same commenting tools. Once your students have added this to their Google Docs, they can give feedback to each other. So again, it opens up a whole nother door of doing peer feedback and peer evaluation, of leaving each other lessons and giving each other feedback and tips. I just think there are some pretty cool things that could be done with this simple free add-on. So again, you can add this to your Google Docs. If you do use this as an instructor, as you're grading projects, or if you use this with your students as part of a peer review process, please let us know how it went and any tips you have for making it more user-friendly and accessible in the classroom. Thanks and enjoy!